Okay, so to make the triangle slash squares like this, to make them like this, you're going to need a square with a 45-degree angle placed across. I'm using a little bit smaller square just to make it easier to see everything. And you're going to begin by placing this line, or the corners, right on the seam that is 1/4 of an inch from the edge. Okay, and I try and get it as close to where the pattern of the fabric starts as possible. Then you're going to hold it down and you're going to make this first diagonal cut. And I hold the square down pretty firmly and usually roll back and forth on that cut a couple of times until this separates. Now, you've already got the square in place to make this triangular cut. So without moving it, I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I did that wrong, didn't I? I got to do like this. Okay, never mind. Okay, remember you have to take and get the line here on that seam line, but you also want to move it across until it just touches right up here where the seam comes to the edge of the line. You notice I've moved it some from where it originally was. That's okay. I've got enough fabric here that I can absorb this much of a mistake. Much more than that, and it would be challenging to have enough fabric to finish the project. That's because I'm paying attention to making a video as opposed to quilting. But now you can see that the seam is just right there, and this opens up into a square. Then, well, I'm going to get rid of this piece because it is not useful here, and I guess I didn't cut it completely through, so I'm going to get all those little extra pieces gone. Then you can either take it and move it this way, which is what I like to do, kind of line up the seam here and here, and then this one you don't have to worry about it because the seam that's at the apex of this triangle is right there. And I'm going to take my cutter and make sure that I have it all cut apart. There's still a little bit hanging on. Oh my goodness. I'll have to change my blades out. Okay, so there I have yet another square. Then this I'm going to move over until let me move this back in the middle here. Okay, I'm going to move this over until it just touches where that seam is up here at the top, and then lines up with the seam here on the bottom. And I like to have my blade toward the ruler, so depending on which side I'm cutting, I'm switching between these two cutters. Just to, you don't have to do that, but I prefer it. There. Okay, so, oh my goodness, this is not cutting very well. I'm going to have to change these blades out. And then you just keep moving down the line until you get them all cut out. If all things go as planned, I should get nine squares out of this. Sometimes if I go back and forth like that, it cuts all the little threads out. Okay. So let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5. This will be 6 here. Six. Seven. Eight. And wow, it is just gonna make it, it looks like. So I'm gonna oops, I did it wrong again. So it is more than gonna make it. Fortunately, I had 2 of those wrong cuts that I could make and still have enough fabric. You can see here's a wrong cut and this wrong cut. But now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, just like I had counted on. And so that's how you do the cut the triangles from the strip. Now this strip originally was 5 3/4 inches wide, and that gives me about a 5.5 inch square once I'm all said and done. So that's how it's done.